Welcome, little hellions. How you doing? Welcome back to the very late Nerdrotic Nooner. We've got a lot to talk about today. I was trying to get it all coordinated as much as I do, which is basically looking at a couple articles for like 3 seconds. How's it shaking, everybody? Welcome, Heroic Avenger 96, 96, Uncle Remus, Dr. Meatball, Mark Lazerth and his wrench, Barbarella Alpha, Mark Dooley carries Miss Sad Song. Oh, we don't want a sad song. Love Pawn, Soul Assassin, Brian O'Shea, Retro Game Bloke. Good day, bloke. Golden Mongoose, Shawsberry. At least it's not Snosberry. And Over Easy Modin. Wow, it's going too fast now. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I'm glad to be back live streaming from the Nerdrotic studio, which is just a little room where I have my little plastic audience, which I am going to add to quite a bit because I went to Comic-Con. So I got a few things here, including, let's see if this will trigger a few people. Jeremy got one too, but yeah, we got our 17, he says 17 different phrases. So there you go. Orange Man bad. So I wanted to watch the Westworld trailer and the Watchmen trailer prior to this to I have a lot to talk about. Westworld season 2 is the best example of everything going wrong in Hollywood. It was a perfect first season of television, and then, well, we had an election, Hollywood went crazy, and nothing has been the same since. And it really culminated at Comic-Con, which was, it had a couple good things. All right. Comic-Con, I had a good time at Comic-Con, but it was because of the people I was with. I was hanging out with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers all weekend, and I hung out with Mike S. Miller and hung out with a lot of members of the Fandom Menace who were there in a large number, by the way. There was a lot of Fandom Menace people at Comic-Con, which was very encouraging. We'll see how many show up to Star Trek. Oh yeah, we got some Star Trek news. Yeah, that so I hope you enjoyed my last video. That was a couple days in the making there, and I got to thank Robert Meyer Burnett for dropping that bomb on Star Trek. It's very interesting news. And the thing is, when it comes to getting insider information, I get a ton of it. I get a lot of it, and I share very little of it because I'm not supposed to. I'm asked not to. But when it comes to the Drekkies, I have a special message for you. I know more than you do. I just do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry your show sucks. I'm sorry Star Trek Picard might suck. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they, considering some of the news that I've gotten that I can't share, it might turn around and it might be good. It could be passable. I would take average. I would weep at average Star Trek right now. So things are happening. A lot of things are happening behind the scenes. And hopefully I can share that with you very, very soon, because some of it is extremely good news. Finally. And these things don't turn on a dime. So we are seeing the absolute worst of it. We saw the worst of it at Comic-Con with the Marvel Phase 4 announcement with the MCU. That's what I'm going to call it from here on out. And as far as the MCU is concerned, MCA, I'm out. I don't want any part of it. I'll review it, but that's, yeah, you're not getting any more of my money. We're done on that one. But yeah, Drekkies, I'm sorry your show sucks. I really am. I want it to be good. I want Star Trek to be good. I'd love for Star Trek to be good, and we could just review the episode kind of like I review an episode of The Expanse, just in a very positive way, or review an episode of The Orville in a very positive way. And we just talk about the show, what happened in the show, and go about our lives. And unfortunately, Hollywood does not want us to escape, and they are forgetting what their purpose is. Their entire purpose is to entertain us, the common folk, us salt of the earth, plebes down here, way below your ivory towers. But all of a sudden, you think you have a political platform and you could start telling us what to do and telling us how to think and telling us how we should think and telling us what we think is wrong. And we are going to continue to tell it to stick it up your ass because we don't really care what you think. We liked it when you were the little dancing puppets. Continue doing that. And I don't mean that to everybody in Hollywood. Okay. Hashtag not all. There are good people in Hollywood. There are people who have reached out to me. The problem is they feel like they can't speak freely in this supposed free country. In especially when it comes to art. When it comes to art, art is supposed to be about free expression. These are the people who should be on our side. We're about freedom, freedom of speech, freedom to tell whatever story you want. However good or bad, unless it gets really partisan. And when you start making something for a very small particular audience, that's when we speak up. When you start excluding us, when you start saying you don't want us around, don't buy our stuff. Hear that a lot from the comic folk. And guess what? A lot of people said, okay, we'll stop buying your stuff. And look what's happening. Yeah, I'm a little fired up today. So I'm wearing my Fight Club shirt today. Let's get to a little bit of chat here, and we will talk about Star Trek first because, and then we'll talk about the MCU because what a disaster that is. Thankfully, Jordan Peele turned down the directing Blade. Yay, good, because now I can watch it. Because I wouldn't have watched it, I wouldn't have reviewed it, nothing if that dude was involved. I'm done with that guy. He desecrated my favorite show of all time. I have lots of favorites, but the best written show in the history of television is Rod Serling's Twilight Zone. Don't even try to argue. And he desecrated it. It actually had the second version of it in the 80s was pretty damn good too. Legend Seeker for $1.99. Thor plus woman equals Lady of the Night. Ooh. Well, we can't call it female Thor. It's just Thor. If you call it female Thor, then you're pissing everybody off. It's not just Thor. And it's amazing how much they mess with Norse mythology and everybody else's mythology, but everything else you can't mess with. And I am of the opinion you should be able to mess with everything. Sure, mess with the Norse mythology as long as you mess with everything else. And if you're not going to mess with everything else and just pick out one thing, well, it's not being very consistent. But we don't expect that from Hollywood, do we? Nicholas Horton, what's up? For £2. How was my journey home? It was long and uneventful. Driving up the butt crack of California, known as Interstate 5, is a long, boring, smelly ride. Now, there is a beautiful drive up north, but it takes like 3 hours longer. You can take 101 and Highway 1 and drive up the coast and go through, Pebble Beach and, a lot of places that are just beautiful. Go by Big Sur. But if you want to get home fast, you got to take the 5, which is just flat and smelly. It is. The Price is Right review for $5. My biggest question for Star Trek Picard will be, we'll see the Enterprise E again? Will we see Picard walk the bridge of his old starship, or at least a cameo? Before Michael Chabon took over, I would say absolutely not. You might see it in the background, but now maybe. That's all I'll say is everything's on the table. You noticed that they didn't even talk to the original Next Generation original crew prior to the show being produced and during the early parts of it being produced. But, right after people started reporting those poor testing numbers, and right after people like myself started reporting that Kurtzman wasn't the boss of that show anymore, all of a sudden things started changing. It's crazy. And Data shows up, Jerry Ryan shows up, and now we know Jonathan Frakes is going to be in it as well. And who knows who else? We might have the entire crew by the end of the series. I don't know. But it sounds like somebody got more than a stern talking to. And again, the minute I can tell you guys stuff, I will tell you guys stuff. Now, I mentioned in the description, I will not be desecrating the Orville and the Expanse during this live stream because of the subject matter we have to talk about. I don't even want it cross-pollinating with the subject matter we're going to talk about today. So I will be doing a separate live stream either early tomorrow morning or later tomorrow night on the Orville and the Expanse. So we can talk about the good stuff. I don't want to mix it in with this. They deserve much better than that. They are the good that is out there, that is in Hollywood, that in entertainment. And that's only because they're not huge franchises yet. And one of them has a boss named Seth MacFarlane, who is in charge and wouldn't, in my opinion, allow anybody to alienate fans. Because, well, maybe he has an understanding that Alex Kurtzman and a lot of other people don't. You know, maybe this is why Brian Fuller got run out, because he loved Star Trek, you know, and he loved the canon and he wanted to respect it. He wanted to push it forward while still respecting it. Nobody here has a problem with anybody's skin color or anything else in the cast of Star Trek Discovery. That's never been my complaint about the show. My complaint about the show is too much agenda and just really, really bad writing, like extremely bad writing, and simplistic agenda, superficial agenda. And it's another show that really alienates and makes fun of some of their fan base and mocks them and shows disdain for them. And, you know, I'm just simply out now. And what happens is they get in their head. They're thinking of the extreme of the right. They're thinking the extreme all the time, but what they're not realizing, or they don't care what they do, is they end up offending everybody center of right, because a lot of these people in Hollywood think being a centrist or being even center right, you're an extreme, you're on the extreme right, you're alt-right, you're part, you know what, the Alita Army is an alt-right cult because you like a movie. Yeah. Okay. Peter Davison, Australian, $5. Present sent arrived in Los Angeles awaiting clearance. Yes. Cool. I haven't been by the PO box yet. I have to do that tomorrow. I arrived home. What did I do? I went home late after the meetup and then ended up sleeping at a rest stop for like 8 hours. And then drove the rest of the way home. It was a zombie yesterday. I tried to shoot a video and I was going to go live stream, but I was not good yesterday. So it was better to wait. It's better to wait. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Price is Right Review. Thank you, Nicholas Horton. Thank you, A Legend Seeker, and Jason Smoot for $20. We'll give anything for just some good creative content. Thank God for The Expanse and Letter Kenny. I don't know what's Letter Kenny. What's that? What's that? All right, I'm going to get to the chat here, and then we'll go back to the super chats here. Did you get your phone call with Seth? Asked Colin P. Smith. Yes, I did. So I don't know. I'm under an NDA for some stuff. I don't have any really particular news. But I can tell you this. I'll tell you this. And once I'm able to tell you guys, I'll tell you guys. And I won't do this too much because I don't like I'm here to tell you guys stuff. I'm not here to keep secrets or anything, but believe me, it's nothing earth shattering. Okay. You know, all the basic stuff that we all need to know is the show's coming out in fall 2020. They're moving it to Hulu. They were worried what the fans would think. They were genuinely worried, concerned, wanted to know what they thought. And because they give a shit. And they were very cool to me. I went to the experience. I got a VIP invite by Tom Constantino who was super cool, dude. Super cool dude. And honestly, I say one of us, like total geek. And as many of them are. So yeah, I talked to him. It was a very cool conversation. I could barely hear the first part of it because I was at the Orville experience, and it was very fast. And so I didn't really have time to think about what I was going to say, which is probably the best thing. And he just wanted to thank me for the support of the show. That's the thing I could tell you. And that was easy because I genuinely like it. But I'm not going to shill. Don't worry. I'm never going to shill. If I don't think it will, but if it takes a turn for the worse, I would tell you. And the same goes for The Expanse too. Listen, I was a strong supporter of Westworld, huge supporter of that show. And I watched season 2, reviewed every episode. And by the end, I was done. And I was supportive about halfway through season 2 until I saw the direction they were going. And season 3 looks just worse. It looks so much worse. So, man. Well, that show did itself in. It did, and we'll get to that. But the conversation was really good. And hopefully what we're going to do here, what I'm going to try to do is keep the conversation going. There's many supporters of the Orville out there, and that's good. And it's good to have people supporting a good show. That's it. Unfortunately, or fortunately for them, there will be no news on the show sucking or lying to their audience or ripping off work. It's a parody, and at least it makes everything uniquely its own. It takes Star Trek premises and makes it uniquely its own because it's character driven. Doesn't really matter what the story's about. And I prefer that. I like both. I like world building lore. And I like character shows. It depends on the show which one I like more. But yeah, I did. It was surreal. It was cool. But what was just as cool is talking to people of the Phantom Menace, if not more cool than that. Just walking around, people saying they like my channel, strangers who I've never met before or I've seen who are here in the chat, and getting to hang out with them. Spent some time with him at Disneyland. That was fun. Galaxy's Edge. Oh, geez. I saw it for myself, folks. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. I wasn't so much bothered by the wokeness in Westworld 2. It was the ridiculous juggling of time lines for me. I can handle that. I'm actually the opposite on that. Cynical. I can handle the timelines. That's part of Westworld because you've got the unreliable narrator. So you're looking at things through a robot's eyes from 5 years ago. And they do that. It's basic mystery box stuff. It's the same thing as Lost and everything. But just, God, every dude was bad or dumb. It's the same thing as Doctor Who, the same thing as Star Trek Discovery. I'm not asking for women to be dumb. Well, yeah, some of them need to be dumb. Yes, we need to mix it up. But this is more of a correction that Hollywood feels the need to go through because they need to work out their issues publicly or through narratives instead of maybe getting an HR department and not being a bunch of creeps. But, power, money, nobody telling you no. Those are bad combination. It's a bad combination. Jibba Jabba, why did the Orville move to Hulu? It looks, and I guess the more important question is why didn't they just do that from the get-go? Why did they move it to Fox from Hulu? I honestly don't know the answer to that question. So I haven't found out yet. You know what? I will ask. I meant to ask yesterday. I'll ask tonight and I'll let you know on the next live stream. I'll let you know because I don't know the answer to that one. My guess would be maybe that's what they wanted to do in the first place, but couldn't get all the I's dotted and T's crossed. So they did it later. Because remember when we were trying to save the Orville, when we thought it needed saving, we were totally okay with it going to Hulu. And then Fox picked it up and then moved it to Hulu. Yeah, listen, it's a bad look. It's not a great look. But I am of the mind that network television is dying. The ratings are slipping lower and lower every year. It's going to be a while, and it's still a hit. I mean, it's a blow. It is, no doubt about it. Henry, Colorado, thank you. Thank you for loving this channel. I greatly appreciate that. Let's go back to a couple super chats here. Talking Pulp for $10. I watch nearly every stream and video for well over a year now. Wow, thank you, Talking Pulp. I don't chat because I'm usually listening in my car, but I gotta support you, man. Thanks for turning me on to the Orville and Expanse. You are welcome. And if anything good comes up that's as good, I will be happy to let you know. Oh my God, if Star Trek Picard turns out to be good, I mean, everybody wins. Everybody wins. I don't, listen, I'm not a fan of Kurtzman. I don't care. I don't think he can make anything good. If he is directly involved with Akiva Goldsman, I think the chances of Picard being good are extremely slim. But if they boot those guys, bring somebody else, and had enough time to put something together, great. Thank you for introducing me to the Expanse. Fantastic series, and cannot wait for season 4. I can't wait either, but we got to wait till December. Thank you, Brian O'Shea, for $5. And thank you, Talkin' Pulp, for the $10. I appreciate it. And Jason Smoot for the $20. The Walking Dude for $2. Hey, Gary, slide. Thank you for $2. Orville Nation, $5. I don't think ASTD season 2 was an improvement, except for Anson Mount. Having these writers mess around with Spock, Sarek, and Amanda, very disappointing. Oh, I do not think season 2 was an improvement at all. I think they doubled down, and it was just as bad as season 1. And I believe I said that towards the end of the reviews. Yeah, hang on. I make sure I'm not. Let's see. Oh, I better wait. I want to just see what I could talk about as far as Star Trek Discovery season 3, which is going to be shooting at the end of the month, they said. Things are changing, though. Things are changing behind the scenes. That's all I'll say. We'll see what happens in the next month or so. We'll see what's announced at Star Trek Las Vegas, which I will be at. That will be very interesting. Well, I can't wait to go there. I've got I got to talk to Popcast. Yeah. I've got a surprise. Cracklin, $1.99. The mighty spatula of Thor. Would love to see it. Cracklin. Yes, little Natalie Portman as Thor. Little Natalie Portman. I think I screen capped a picture of like how little Natalie Portman is. Let's see if I can pull that up. And there's one. Where's the other one? Yeah, here we go. Let's take a look at this. Self-produced show. Things will be a little faster in the next. I wonder what. I still wonder what they're going to replace Hangouts with. YouTube hasn't said anything. So yeah, there's Natalie Portman on the right there. Well, it's the right to me. I don't know if it's mirrored or not to you guys, but yeah, she's like a good head smaller to the leaning down Chris Hemsworth. So apparently she's going to get all jacked up and yoked, which means steroids, but which are very bad for you. But yes, little Natalie Portman, who was done with the MCU as far as I knew, is going to be Thor, and they're jumping right into the all new, all different Marvel. And we all saw this coming. Captain Marvel being a success inspired my thumbnail for this podcast, which I hope you enjoyed, and I got a chuckle out of it. And little Natalie Portman. Man, it's hot in San Francisco today. It's not good when it's hot in San Francisco. I'll tell you that right now. Hot in San Diego is fine. Hot in San Francisco, not so fine. Okay. Westworld should be called Respect Women World now, and Watchmen should be called Watch People. Also, read the Witcher books before you watch the show. Sir Ruin of House Roundhead for $4.99. I will. I got a bad feeling about that show. I really do, but I will read the books. Yeah, Watchmen is something I'm going to be all over. This, I guess, is coming out in October. Excuse me. I think they screened an episode of Comic-Con, but I haven't heard anything. And yeah, but it looks like October is when that comes out. So we'll be covering every episode on the Inquisition. And that should be very, again, interesting. Watchmen and Batwoman on the same night. Will we survive? Will we survive? Because we'll die laughing by the end of every night. That will be some of the best comedy that they can produce. I know Dave Cullen on his last video challenged somebody. Somebody needs to make like a Blazing Saddles type of movie, except about, SJWs and NPCs and current PC culture, which I am 100% behind. If some brave comedian would write that and do that and really just mock it, because that's the one thing that's how you break anything. You can just mock it to death, and then it becomes the one thing that'll probably stop them is once they think it's uncool, which it is. They just don't realize it. It's like that dude rocking the mullet, in 2001. Nobody told him because he didn't have any good friends. I don't know. But yeah, Westworld. Wow. And of course you saw there's World War II world now, and they're fighting the Nazis. Oh, wow. Who didn't see that one coming? I am so shocked and surprised at how brave and stunning that is. Hiroshi score for 50 Mexican dollars. Greetings, Gary. I just returned from vacation. I'm in binge nerdrotic mode, including live streams, almost catching up. Oh, cool. Binging nerdrotic. That's something I've never thought about. That's weird. That's cool. It's really cool. I've never thought about somebody wanting to do that. This whole thing's weird, by the way. It's just surreal and weird. Walking around the big star Jeremy all week, seeing all the attention he got, he got stopped every 10 minutes or so. I was stopped every 20 minutes or so, which is cool. Or they would see Jeremy first and they go, "Oh yeah, you're nerdrotic." That's right. Even though I'm wearing a shirt that says nerdrotic. But that goes to tell you that when you're in a sea of people, we got recognized a couple times at Disneyland, but generally, not so often, which is good. I think it's really good for the ego. Jason Smoot, $20. Thank you again. Letterkenny is a Canadian comedy show about a small town in Canada. Worth checking out. It's something different and flat out hilarious on Hulu. I'll check it out. I will. Tyrone Beard for Australian $5. So Picard is 25% older. 7 of 6 is 25% more human. I'm going to stop doing the Australian accent. I'm not feeling it today. Data is 25% fatter. Should meet licenses. So stoked you spoke to Seth, and thanks, mate. Orville. Yes, Orville. The Orville and the Expanse are the lights in the dark tunnel that is entertainment right now. But they're not a train. They're actually hope for the future. And the fact that they're both still around, one we almost lost, which is incredible. God, it feels like forever since we had the Expanse, though. It's been a year now since season 3 ended, and it's going to be 6 more months, or 5 more months. It'll go fast. They do when you're old, anyway. And now we got to wait over a year for the Orville, but I'll try to keep, once news comes up, and I'll think of things to make Orville videos about. I am working on an Orville video, on a specific Orville video. And just to remind you, my most viewed video on the channel is an Orville video. Almost at 500,000 views, which is insane. Flaky Anthony for $2. Hey, Gary, what are your thoughts on Firefly? Love it. I think it's damn near perfect. You put Serenity with it. I think it's perfect. I don't know how perfect it would have been if it went multiple seasons. It would have been nice to find out, but I loved it. Now, Joss Whedon, not a fan. I liked his work back then. I will not be watching any more of his shows. The guy's really insane on Twitter and hateful and just maybe even, I don't know, maybe he's going through a bit of an identity crisis since his wife called him out for being a hypocrite. Orville Nation. What's up, Orville Nation? For $5. Sorry, just venting, Gary. Didn't you mean you thought season 2 STD was an improvement? PJ. No, I did not. I agree that it is not, and it wasn't an improvement at all. I said that not Picard, Anson Mount would have been an improvement if he wasn't cucked all the time, but no. But no, absolutely not. Jason Smoot for $20. Looking forward to The Boys. It's getting a lot of play on TV. It is, and it comes out in what, 2 days? Yeah, Friday. We'll just cross our fingers and hope it's not woke. And yeah, I'll tell you if it is. And yes, my friend co-created it, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'll probably, I'm just not. I'm done. I'm done with woke. I'm freaking done with it. I didn't mind a little bit of politics here and there when it was rare, or it just didn't bother me. But it bothers me now. It's getting tired. It's getting old. It rips me out of the story. It's boring, and it really makes me want my rebellious nature makes me want to go the other way. It really does. That's my inclination. Is if Hollywood is telling me what to do, I'm generally going to do the opposite pretty much every time, unless it's somebody who has talent. And there's so little of that right now that's getting any play. There's talented people out there. Brian Fuller, who, yes, has gone through his troubles with series before, but maybe it's because he's trying to work in this new environment in Hollywood where they're uncompromising and being crazy, just and being weird. And maybe he just wants to tell a good story and is having a hard time doing that right now. Now that premise he has for the Picard story, if he was producing it, I'd watch the hell out of that. That would be, and even though it is taken from stupid Kelvin Trek, I want you to remember if you remembered what I read in the video, what it said towards the end. It said, so Picard can protect the past. What's that about? The present and himself, or can save the past. So Picard could save the past, the present, and himself. Well, how can he save the past? And would it fix the timeline? And I'm guessing that's what it might have done. And maybe that was what irked Klutzman a little bit. I can hope. I can dream that they would, Romulus would be okay. The star wouldn't go supernova, and we could just go on enjoying Star Trek and just pretend JJ Trek didn't exist. So I'm not sure how involved JJ is going to be in Star Trek anymore. Now, he moved out of the offices of Paramount. He's going to be going to ruin DC with Superman and Green Lantern. And I think JJ Star Trek might actually be done, like really done. Now, of course, there's still the secret hideout bad reboot stuff. But as far as the films are concerned, I think we're pretty done. I've said this before. I'll say it again. We're not going to get a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek. I would love for there to be a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek. I would, just as a one-off alternate reality. It would be fun to watch, I think, as long as it didn't mess with canon. But I love the interview. They played it on, Tom played it on Midnight's Edge After Dark. In one part of the interview, he'd say, yes, it's going to be Pulp Fiction Star Trek. Why in the hell would you hire me if it wasn't going to be? And he also said that he hated JJ Trek. I love it. The fact that it's in a different timeline and stuff, that was freaking great. That was great. First Padme screws Darth Vader. Now she's going to screw the MCU, says Peter Ford, for $4.99. Yes. Oh, man. It's so, it was so unsurprising and funny, that announcement. And the MCU, it sounds to me that the Kevin Feige tried to fight this stuff as long as he could, and he just couldn't win on this one. I'm seriously wondering how much he is in charge. I think he's got a lot to say over the MCU and gets a lot of the credit, but certainly sounding like Disney Marvel, isn't it? Isn't it sound more and more every day like Disney Marvel? I was just having this conversation with Nerdrotic Jr. on the way home. He asked me, Dad, do you think Marvel Comics will ever be good again? And I had to give him the saddest answer, but I don't lie to my kid. Nope. Flat out, nope. This isn't Marvel anymore. It's Disney Marvel. Unless Disney sells them, what the reason Marvel was unique and had something that DC did not, is when they were their own company, they had their own identity. They've lost their identity now. They're just assimilated into Disney, as DC was assimilated into Warner Brothers. I thought Disney would be at least the one company that understood it. Warner Brothers has never known what to do with freaking DC. Occasionally we get a gem, though. In that ignorance, we can occasionally get a Donner Superman, the Donner Superman 2 cut. I mean, the Warner Brothers allowed that to happen. That is a beautiful thing because it's one of my top 5 movies. It's the best single panel I've ever been to at Comic-Con, was watching Richard Donner and Margot Kidder and Sarah Douglas, and they were talking about Superman and Superman 2 and the Donner cut. The trailer was, the panel was amazing. It was so good. Somewhere I have video of it, and if I find it, I'll put it on Nerdrotic Live. And we get a Dark Knight, but then we get, the stuff we've gotten lately. I thought they were actually turning it around. No, I like Shazam. I liked Aquaman. I thought it was going in a good direction, but then J.J. Abrams comes in, and I know a lot of DC fans are happy. Don't get your hopes up, because Superman will be a second fiddle in his own movie, or, they'll make it Superman and Supergirl, or Supergirl and Superman, or Superwoman and Superman, or it'll be super people. It'll just be super people. Legend Seeker, hey again, just realized you're from California. Yes, born and raised. Just want you to know that you have a fan from San Diego. Love your channel. Hey, Legend Seeker, I was born and raised in San Diego, man. Born and raised from North County. And I already want to go back and get a carne asada. That was my last meal when I got out of town. I went and got a carne asada burrito and 3-roll tacos at Juanita's in Qualudia. It's Lucadia, but we call it Qualudia. Cracklin for $4.99. By the way, Legend Seeker, what's up, homeboy? Cracklin, $4.99. They should change the name of Galactus to Wokeness and have the Silver Surfer warn of its coming destructive power. I love this idea in the next MCU movie. Well, Phase 4, they didn't announce Guardians 3. Isn't that weird? They didn't announce Captain Marvel 2 or Black Panther 2, but we know they're coming. And they mentioned the Fantastic Four in passing, but Phase 4, Fantastic Four, what are you going to miss that? I think they're going to a lot of changes, but I don't like the direction at all. Blade is the only thing that sounds good, but here's the plot for Blade. It's a new fun game we can play here at Nerdrotic. Guess the woke plot. We could start guessing the woke plots, and chances are you're going to be right. So try to just make it as woke as possible. So Blade, who will probably be gay, will fight a vastly superior and powerful female vampire villain, and he'll have to save the most important girl in the world. She is the key to everything, life, reality itself, the continuation of happiness, and the continuation of sunlight. If they get rid of her, the sun will go down forever because of this important little girl who just so happens to be really good at science. That's my guess for the Blade plot. Sam Mickle for $5. I just realized the MCU was just a long con to make more Disney princesses. Sam, I bow to your wisdom. I bow to your wisdom. Yes. The reason they bought Star Wars and they bought Marvel was because they were losing the male audience because, let's face it, I'm sorry if this is going to offend some people, Disney was a girl brand. It was a girl brand. It was Disney princesses, and they had the parks. But like as far as movies and content, it was it leaned, listen, that's why I'm not a Disney fan. If you or it was a kid girl brand, we'll just put it that way. So if you were under like 10, it was for boys and girls. Over 10, mostly for girls. It is. Walk into a Disney store in 2009 and argue with me, please. Aside from a couple Pixar movies, yeah. So I was never a big Disney fan. I got kicked out of their park a lot in the 80s. I might have deserved it though. And in the 90s, I was a single guy for a little while, and no kids, disposable income. I was 24. What am I going to watch? The Little Mermaid or Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs or Batman Returns, or I mean, just name it. That's what I was watching. I was watching, there was really good independent cinema in the 90s. I was watching the hell out of that. And yeah, I wasn't into Disney movies, but I was also, I wouldn't say a grown ass man at 24. I thought I was. I was a dumbass man. The frontal lobe wasn't fully developed, and it got heavily damaged in the 80s anyway. Thought Natalie Portman's acting was weak link in Star Wars films, but in fairness, she was very young. Well, she was very young in Leon the Professional, and she killed it. So what's that excuse? Listen, I will defend her on this. It was impossible to act in front of giant green walls and a guy with, I know people love George, I know, but he's not Mr. Personality. Okay. He's not like this, there's a reason he's an epic nerd, because he didn't get talked to a lot of parties. He wasn't the center of attention at parties, not a big talker. He was just it rhymes like poetry. Yeah, say sand. Oh, okay. I'm going to go back, count my money now. Okay. George is a great creative mind who should not write actual scripts or direct anything. He should pay for everything, produce, innovate. He's very good at that. And I would take him back at Star Wars in a second over what we have at Disney. Don't get me wrong. But there's a reason Empire is the best film. Gary Kurtzman, Irvin Kershner, who was a good hired director. Gary Kurtzman, and Star Wars was great because of his wife, and Empire was also great because of Lee Brackett. Let's not forget Lee Brackett, who passed away, I believe, before the film came out. Because female, a woman wrote Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Well, had a hand in it anyway. But if you asked anybody now, women didn't work in Hollywood back in the 70s. They were being locked in cages and only allowed out once in a while to film Stepford Wives and stuff. Let's get to the chat here. Did I say Gary Kurtzman? I meant Gary Kurtz. If I misspeak, it happens. It happens on live streams all the time. But if I said Gary Kurtzman for some reason, I am sorry. I meant Gary Kurtz. I've got many things going through my head. Sand people are responsible for 9/11. They are, Rex. How they are. Jesus. Oh, God. Yes, I have Star Wars 2 script by Lee Brackett. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I know it's different. Rudyard, I know it's different. But I haven't read it in many a moon. But Lee Brackett here, we'll pull up Lee Brackett here. Good old Lee Brackett. And when we see her IMDb, you will see why she was hired. Where did she go? Oh, I misspelled her name. There she is. And you will trip. I mean, if people don't, there might be a lot of people who don't know this. There might be a lot of people who do know this. When I first heard her name back in the day, I didn't realize, how much she had written. I think this was, I don't know how her name is on something in the 2000s, unless it's something that's remade. But she had a big break there. But this was like one of the last things she ever did. She did a story for the Rockford Files. That's good. But, the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. So she was also a bit of a script doctor at the time. But there's no picture of Lee Brackett. Hang on. Let me find a picture of Lee Brackett. She deserves a lot of respect. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure she died prior to writing it, though. I can't remember. But that's Lee Brackett. Yeah, she died 2 years before it was born. Lancaster. She was in Lancaster. Ooh, good Lord. So it probably got changed quite a bit beforehand, but that's still Lee Brackett. We got to get to an art. I'm going to see. I don't know if I can. This is like a touchy ass subject. It depends on whether I want to leave this up. By the way, I have to acknowledge this. I can't believe I've gone this far without acknowledging this. So I apologize. Rutger Hauer, rest in peace. Holy crap. He was 75, so he lived good old age, but 75 is kind of young nowadays, right? I don't know what he passed away from yet. I don't think it really matters. He was old. My favorite films, obviously, Blade Runner, The Hitcher, Hobo with the Shotgun. He was a great actor. Rest in peace, Rutger Hauer, and thank you for all your good work. It's very sad. It's very sad, but he lived a good old life. He made an impact on the world, and he was what was good in Hollywood. And played probably one of the greatest bad guy, not bad guys ever. And listen, Blade Runner, if you consider it now, something that I don't think won any Academy Awards, maybe a couple of technical ones, it lost in special effects to effing E.T. And I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. The E.T. special effects from the original movie were crap. Compared to Blade Runner. We're garbage compared to Blade Runner. I like E.T. It's a fine, cute little movie. It's no effing Blade Runner. I saw the theatrical cut in the theaters with my friend Doug Johnson when we were 12 years old. My mom came with us because it was rated R. It was an empty effing theater. The film flopped. I don't know if both Siskel and Ebert at the time didn't like it or one of them didn't like it. And I never forgave them for that. I know they changed their minds later, but that's when we cared what movie reviewers, said. And I think they were still on PBS at the time too. But yeah, a movie that had a huge impact on my life. It taught me about, there was a thing called noir cinema. I had never heard of it. I was 12. I had never seen lighting like that. I've never seen special effects like that. But after I saw that movie, I wanted to be a private investigator in the future. And I was just going to make it happen. Harrison Ford was a god at that point. So within 3 to 4 years, he had played Han Solo, Indiana Jones, and Rick Deckard. God. I tried to copy his mannerisms when I was, how stupid a 12-year-old looks like rubbing his whiskers that don't exist. That was me. I tried to talk like him. Everything. It sucks that no kids nowadays have a Harrison Ford. They might have something close if he's in more stuff. Tom Hardy's pretty cool. I like Tom Hardy. I just read that we still have an outside chance of getting more Mad Max, but George Miller is not getting any younger. But if that could happen, that would be fantastic. Unfortunately, J.J. Abrams would be involved because he's at Warner Brothers now. So mystery box Mad Max, or I don't know. It's very sad about Rutger Hauer, though. Then I got a message here from our good friend Jody. Yeah, I am gonna let me. Yeah, I'll do that on my one on Nerdrotic Live. It's a touchy subject. It's very touchy. I don't want to get into it here. Let's rip on Marvel some more. But thanks for sending that along. There's you guys have sent me so much stuff, and I'm really behind from being at Comic-Con. So Comic-Con. I'm going to apply for press passes, so I will only go back if they give me press passes. I'm not going to go back as I just don't want to go. It's such a pain in the ass to get tickets. Chances are I got lucky this year. I don't know if I'll get that lucky again next year. I applied for press passes at New York Comic-Con and at Silicon Valley Comic-Con. So we'll see if I probably won't, but it's worth a try. It's worth the try, and we'll see. I really want to go to New York, though, so I'll buy tickets to New York. I will go to New York. I want to check out New York Comic-Con. That I heard it's better than San Diego now. That remains to be seen. The thing about San Diego is not even the con anymore. It's the fact that it's in San Diego. San Diego is a great city. It's a brilliant city. And yes, I'm saying that because I was born there. No, it just really is. It's a great place to live. It's expensive, but it's still it's worth it. Unlike here, I don't understand why I pay so much money for a house that's over 100 years old. Yes, this house was built in 1910, and the streets look like crap. It's dirty. It's got some nice parts. I could never hope to live there, and I have no reason to go there. There's no reason to go downtown. When I moved here, there was a Virgin Megastore. There was FAO Schwartz. There was Jeffrey's Toys. There was just a lot of good places to go downtown. There's no reason to go downtown unless you have to messenger something to Twitter, like an actual message, get a bike messenger. There's no other reason to go there. There's these giant buildings for billionaires, and yeah, I don't understand. Mission's not even fun to go to anymore. The beach sucks here because it's cold. Yeah, there's really nothing to do. There's comic shops. There's still comic shops, and I still go to that. But it's a good thing I've got this YouTube thing. I'd be really bored. The Grand Inquisitor is here. What is up, my friend? $5. At least JJ will give a Superman 78 remake that none of us wanted or asked for. That guy is to Hollywood as what the clap is to college campus. You guys are funny today. You're funny. You're funny. Yeah. The Inked Hulk, $10. Hail Gary, off topic. I had Expanse in queue after I heard you recommend it. It started it 3 days ago, and on season 2, episode 3 now, I'm shaking. Best space show on TV ever. Did not expect that. I can't see. Oh, Taco helping me. Are you speaking Belter there? It's Taki coping me. I only know some Belter, like well, there's Beltalada, but I used to Casase, and then what else? I learned a sentence and I forgot it. Well, I'll remember it by next year. I'm rereading Cibola Burn right now. That is the one book I'm trying to reread before season 4 comes out. That's the only thing I have time to read. I can take because I've read it before, so I could just kind of skim through chapters that are slower. Jason Smoot for $20. I'm out of the loop. Sorry. Will the Dresden Files come back? I would hope so. I'm surprised it hasn't. I loved the attempt that they made on television. It wasn't perfect. It was very low budget, and I thought it was cool as hell. I was in. And the author of the book, I had a booth next to 3 years in a row at Comic-Con, and he was a cool dude. Kevin, $5. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. All of those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain. Zero, zero, zero. Cue the Vangelis. Oh my God. You guys would not believe how much shite is in my room right now because of I'm moving my office around still. I need to really get that done. I need to get that done. Okay, let's get back here. 1,400 people watching or have watched at some point. I don't know who's watching now. I just watched the peak. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, it's good to be back. These will be back to regular time when I get back from Star Trek Las Vegas. And when I get back from Star Trek Las Vegas, the Nooners will go back to remaining on the channel. This one might stay on the channel. It depends. I'm really keeping an eye on the algorithm. I want that Star Trek video I did to do very well and get shared a lot. Now, what's been happening to a lot of people, and again, this could be because some are slower, ad rates are down, but a lot of things seem a little different since YouTube changed the algorithm after they got caught, or Google got caught with their thing. We'll just call it the thing. And it seems to me that while my notifications seem to be going out, everything's fine, except we aren't showing up in recommended outside of our group as much. I heard. Not really sure how much truth there is to that, but it's very important that you guys, if you want, I mean, only do it if you want, share our videos. That really would help. But some quick announcements. When I get back from Star Trek Las Vegas, couple things hopefully you guys will like. There's going to be more. So we're coming out with more. I'm simplifying Patreon. Finally going to put the final details on that tomorrow. Been working on that today a little bit. And I'm going to simplify here so I can do some sort of live streaming 6 days a week. It won't all be on this channel. There'll be some on Nerdrotic Live, but it's basically going to be daily, like a daily nooner. It'll be a little shorter on Nerdrotic Live, but for those of you who won't be sick of me, you can watch me over there. It's going to be daily. Also, I'm teaming up with Bulls Trek in mid-August for a regular live stream, and it's going to alternate channels. It'll be on his channel, my channel. So yes, we've been talking about it for 6 months. And I finally got my crap together, and we both want to do this. And I love Bulls Trek. He's a freaking great channel. Please subscribe to him. His Doctor Who and Star Trek stuff is on point, pretty much 100%. 100%. I love that dude, and he's funny as hell. So we might be joined by other people, other guests and stuff. It's going to be Doctor Who centric. Yeah, probably Doctor Who, Star Trek. I would imagine it'll be pretty much exclusively that. Then when the Expanse comes back, we will be live streaming the reviews of that show on Overlord DVD's channel. Doomcock and I made a deal that if we'll do Game of Thrones on my channel, and then we'll do the Expanse on his. Now, since Game of Thrones is over and the Expanse is over, probably in season 5, we'll alternate after that, I would imagine. But part of the deal is this year we're going to do all the Expanse live reviews on his channel. Now, I will do reviews on my channel. I'll have review videos, but all the live stuff will be over there. Of course, we have the Inquisition. Lots of live, just more stuff. My schedule's getting cleared up a little bit. Nerdrotic Junior's in a camp right now, which is cool. It's a good camp. He's doing really good, by the way. And he's coming. The whole family's coming to Vegas. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. I got Nerdrotic, Mrs. Nerdrotic, a picture with Shatner on the bridge. Cost $200. $200, worth every penny. She said she's going to try to make out with him. I'm like, well, make sure his teeth are in. Just kidding. He's got his teeth. I don't know. Let's go back, get a couple super chats, and we'll go to the chat here. So those, I hope you like those announcements. We've got more merchandise coming. I'm working on cheaper shirts. So that will be in the future. But I don't know when. And what else? There was something else I wanted to tell you guys, and now it just completely went. I'll think of it later. Modalicious, $2. Nothing to do downtown except poop. That's true. Well, if you, yeah, here's the problem. About 8 years ago, maybe less, the city of San Francisco used to give. Listen, I have sympathy for homeless people, people with substance abuse problems. I mean, there's a lot of problems. They don't have a place to go. It's something we as a society probably need to we need to figure out. But we also have to, there's a balance. There's we need to help people. And then there's yes, some people need to be responsible for themselves. It depends on the situation individually. There are some perfectly sane people who are homeless who could probably go out and work. There's some not so perfectly. There's some insane people who are sick and need a lot of help and shouldn't be on the streets. Absolutely. And then there's everything in between, and it's all substance abuse with that. That problem will never get solved, unfortunately. So we just try to work with it the best we can. But poop on the streets, when it's a regular thing and it's not oversold, folks, I'm sorry to say, it's not oversold. I wish it were. The diddler for $1. What's up, diddler? What are you? I'm not going to ask what you're doing. I'll ask how you doing. Are you okay? Okay. I know what you're doing. I mean, it's in the name. Clockwork Badger for $10. Dresden Files, one of my favorite book series. Love the show as always. Thank you. Thank you very much. Dresden Files is a cool book series. I like that kind of stuff. Modalicious for $5. Poop in the streets. I've been listening too much to too much EVS. Can you listen to too much EVS? Can you? William for $19.99. Comic pros and shills almost lost their minds when comic fans wouldn't accept that Thor is the title and not the name. I have faith normies are going to be confused by this and dump on them like we did in overwhelming numbers. William, you're right. Thank you for $19.99. No. What Marvel and Hollywood are doing are what your child does when it's young. If you've had children, you know what I'm talking about. They test boundaries constantly. So they're testing the boundaries of entertainment, of the normie. And those boundaries are pretty wide when it comes to normies, as long as the brand is cool. See, normies just flock to what everybody else is talking about. Be it Lost, be it Game of Thrones, be it Big Brother, Survivor back in the day. Normies are easily distracted with the pretty lights. There are certain shows I will never get into, and I don't care how popular they are. I don't know. I'm particular on some stuff. I like some mainstream stuff, sure. I like my comic books really mainstream. For somebody who liked punk rock and underground music my entire life, I am very mainstream when it comes to comics. I like my men and women in tights. I like good superhero stories with good guys fighting bad guys. And, my dark fantasy, I want some dark lord, a wizard who dies halfway through the story, mentoring our hero, and a little betrayal, some elves here and there. I'm happy. Spaceships, wizards, and a drug deal gone bad. That's what I like in a good story. Not really getting that very much in genre. Thankfully, there's a bunch of stuff I haven't read and watched that I'm going to watch and catch up on. This is a perfect time to, I don't know, take on Babylon 5 and finally watch every single episode and finish it. I think it's a good idea. Finally, check out Stargate, a show I didn't even give the time of day when it came out. Maybe I should check it out now because there's nothing else to watch. Like this channel was a review channel. Like I'm supposed to be reviewing television, and I know Legion's on, but guess what happened? First episode, did a couple woke things, and I've just never felt the need to go back. I might, maybe I'll do it today. I'll get caught up. I don't know if I have time, but there's a couple of woke statements in it. I'm like, I got better things to do. What was the statement? Penis free for 25 years. Okay. Well, how about penis free for now? You got one less penis watching your show. Modalicious, $2. Like children, they are pooping on everything. They are Modalicious, and he is just on a poop roll. He is. You're just pooping them out. Modalicious, I love you. You know that. Yeah, I'm catching up on old comic books. I was, what was I listening to? On the way down to Comic-Con, I was listening to the BBC Lord of the Rings with Ian Holm from the early 80s, right? Bill Nye plays Samwise Gamgee. It's excellent. It's so good. I love it. And I know, and there's one thing you notice, there's like, there's 2 women in the entire production, and I think they're in it for like a minute or 2. Lady Galadriel is in it a little bit. Yeah. And there's a washerwoman nurse. I'm forgetting her name now. What the hell's her name? Towards the end. What the hell? Why is it buzzing at me so much? Oh. Who gives a shit? I'm on live stream. I seek JJ. I want him to wear tights. The diddler. I seek. If you want JJ to wear tights, well, I bet you his wife makes him do it all the time. Snowflame loves you too. Modalicious, $2. Snowflame. Cocaine is his god, and he is the instrument of his will. Amen. Cocaine's very bad. Cocaine is bad, okay? It's a hell of a drug. Vienna Wells for 10 pounds. Blade Runner name was Ripoff. The original Blade Runners were actually Blade Runner runners created by Alan Norse, a physician and science fiction author. The Blade Runner was one of Norse's last novels. Was it, did they, well, they were called the Blade Runner within the book. So I don't know. It wasn't meant to be the title. But yeah. If he ripped, if Philip K. Dick ripped it off, I don't know. Or was it a coincidence? But I'll have to check it out. There's a lot of ripping off in Hollywood. I wouldn't be surprised, Vienna. It happens all the time. There's still the DS9 Babylon 5 debate. That goes back and forth, and DS9 people say, no, they came up with it first. And I tend to believe Straczynski. I like Straczynski. I like J. Michael Straczynski. Yeah, he wrote One More Day, but that was under duress, in my opinion. But I like Straczynski. Yeah, let's get back to the chat. Star Trek Recovery. Please don't say dick and ripoff in the same sentence. Well, I just did right there. I mean, you made me say it right there within the same sentence. Well, yeah, you definitely don't want that ripped off. Ask John Bobbitt. No, Paramount paid a settlement for DS9, says Michael Connor. So they did. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. I know there was controversy. I didn't know there was actual lawsuits or anything. I wasn't paying attention to that thing back then. Quesada is to blame for One More Day and for a lot of what is wrong with Marvel. And the thing is, he actually was instrumental in bringing them back. But as is the case, you think Feige is kind of mirroring what Quesada did to Marvel Comics right now? Because again, Quesada was the architect of bringing him and was it Jameson? What the hell's the guy's name? The guy he did he was involved in he was kind of the architect of the Ultimate Universe. It doesn't matter what his name is. But Quesada helped bring Marvel back. But he also helped usher in SJW Marvel. He was very instrumental in that. So is Kevin Feige doing the same thing? Is he pulling a Quesada of the MCU? I say yes. I say yes, he is. Valkyrie needs to find her queen in Thor 4. So it's is there going to be any time for Chris Hemsworth Thor? Is he going to be a guest star in his own movie? I'm guessing yes. I'm just waiting for the toxic. Well, they're already the toxic. Are there? Let me see. Toxic. Let's see. Male fans. There's certain. You got to know how the Access Media words their headlines. So, male fans upset about Thor. Not yet. I know it's on Twitter. I don't know what I don't know what Junkie is. This is this Gizmodo? Is Junkie Gizmodo? Oh, it looks so edgy. It's called Junkie. Let's see what it is. I've honestly never heard it. I have no idea. Well, they have a headline that says male piss babies are absolutely pooping themselves over Natalie Portman being cast as Thor. All the men I've seen crying because of Natalie Portman as Thor left my ass off. Stay mad. And this is all that's behind this decision. I don't know if this, I mean, I have no idea what the site is. It could be a freaking onion site as far as I know. I don't care. But it bolsters the argument right now. So let's take a look. Can't say I've heard of every freaking website. There's more created every day. Thorette. Nobody that I know is mad. Exasperation, and a lot of mockery. It was horribly predictable. Not mad. I did a video on it 3 months ago. I said this was going to happen, and it happened. I'm not Nerdstradamus. A lot of people said it was going to happen, and I will give full credit to the likes of I Love Comics, our boy Comics Division, Unranked Chevron. No, he probably didn't talk. Yeah, he talked about it a little bit. I'm trying to Just Some Guy, your boy Zach. People talked about female Thor quite a bit about 3-4 years ago, and it was more at the tail. It was ending right when SJW Marvel was ramping up in 2017, but people still referred to it, and there's still videos on it. Maybe even Captain Cummings did a video on it back in the day. Who knows? But all they need to do is dust off their old videos and just put in MCU instead of Marvel, and you got a video. As a matter of fact, I would try tell Englentine to try it. Englentine was another one who was there very early in Comicsgate. I know that doesn't get talked about a lot, but he was there. In news that is grim, inevitable, and pathetic, and surprising to nobody online, the world's worst men have united in a tonal symphony of frustrated tantrums and poop-filled pants over Natalie Portman being cast as Thor. The announcement was made at San Diego Comic-Con on Saturday that Natalie Portman will reprise her role as Jane Foster. By the way, hang on a second. I need to... Is that back up? Okay, good. Just a moment. Natalie, I want to get her exact height. I'm just obsessed over this. She's 5'3". I'm going to call her 5'3" Natalie Portman. Okay, that's just I'm saying. I mean, hey, Tom Cruise is like what, a half inch taller than her, so whatever. But his trailer was good. I'll tell you that. Top Gun Maverick. I liked it. I thought it was one of the better trailers at Comic-Con. Probably 100% because it wasn't woke, and the plane shots were, I mean, the jet shots, sorry, it wasn't just a plane, were effing cool. The announcement was made at San Diego Comic-Con on Saturday that Natalie Portman will reprise her role as Jane Foster. 5'3" Natalie Portman will reprise her role as Jane Foster in the upcoming Thor: Love and Blunder film, which is helmed by returning director Taika Waititi. She will be co-starring. Her co-star will be Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, playing Tessa Thompson, playing a part. Because Tessa Thompson is always smirking and she's always the tough, sassy woman, smoking a cigarette and doing whatever a man can do. However, Portman's role will significantly change from her previous position of love interest and astrophysicist in the new film, as she too will wear the mantle of Thor, wielding the famous hammer Mjolnir and adopting the title of Goddess of Blunder. So just to clarify, she is cast as Thor, not replacing Chris Hemsworth in any way. Well, Chris Hemsworth is Thor. Okay. Yet the men's, they're still angry. This should not be a surprise to any comic fan, as the move mirrors an extremely popular comic storyline from 2014. So popular it lost half its audience. So popular it ushered in the all new, all different, all destroyed Marvel Cinematic Universe. So popular that there are about 110 less comic stores, probably more than there were in 2014. Let's talk about the popularity of Jason Aaron's Thor. Most of it had to do with speculation. Most of it had to do with Jason Aaron having a very good reputation at the time. Most of it had to do with 2014 was coming off of 2013, which was a great year for comics. I know, I was there, made a bunch of money. But unfortunately, 2014 led to 2015, and that's where things started really getting shitty. But things were still good, and it still lost half its audience. I've always had hammer envy. Well, that statement says it all. 5'3" Natalie Portman said the event, according to Variety. So there used to be a saying, I'm sure it's retired now and they're trying to get it out of history, called penis envy. Well, there seems to be a lot of penis envy going on instead of just being okay. See, what's behind this? What's all behind this is it's actually part of the Time's Up movement. It's part of trying to make women a voting bloc. It's trying to divide men and women. We are actually trying to go away from an egalitarian society to something other than that, under the guise of take down the patriarchy. This is all about voting, and this is all about power. This is all about fake woke marketing. It gets dumbass access media to write these articles for who? Themselves. Maybe they write it for themselves. I'm not really sure. But by the time this movie comes out, this trend will be over, long over. I give it another year, tops. I think it's getting ground in the dirt right now. So instead of just casting a film, telling a good story, instead of, I don't know, using one of the many great female characters they have in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Marvel Comics, they replace one that doesn't need to be replaced. Female Thor, by the way, it wasn't done first by Jason Aaron. Okay. It was done by Alex Ross when Loki turned Thor into a female in Earth X. So, which happened years before this. So they're not innovating anything. It's not groundbreaking at all. It's basic. And now that, even it could be argued in the comics in 2014, it was different back then, which it really wasn't. It's 5 years later, 6 years later now, and you're just the latest in line and doing it again. We got Terminator. It's just happening with everything. This is exactly what happened with Doctor Who. I'm seeing, I think people dusted off the same tweets, and it's the same people, and none of them are going to watch this movie. None of them watch Doctor Who. And you'll have Doctor Who had the same result as the Thor comic. A bunch of people bought it at first. It lost half its audience, and then it fizzled out. That's what's going to happen here. The MCU could have survived a long time if they had just stayed the course. Let's tell good stories. But they feel like they have making up to do because they got a lot of criticism. Maybe they should have come out with a Black Widow movie earlier. But if it's not going to be rated R, I could give two shits about it, to be honest with you. Are we going to get a PG-13 Blade movie? A PG-13 Blade movie? Oh boy. I don't know if I can read the rest of this. Oh, there's Ethan's name right there. Ethan got hashtagged in it. Let's see. Anybody else we know? No, I can't. Yeah, you can go find it. It's from a website called Junkie that started an ad going for some reason. Thank you for great coverage at San Diego Comic-Con, Gary. Well, you're welcome, Orville Nation. It was a lot of fun. I got plenty of rest yesterday, and that's why I'm able to be nice and energetic for a live stream today. Baptist 702 for $10. Hey, Gary, it was a true pleasure meeting you, Jeremy, and my brother Mike at Comic-Con Saturday. I sent you a few emails with my info in case you had an open opportunity to hang out. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I saw them. So cool. Isn't Mike S. Miller, wasn't he in town today or coming in? I think he's coming up San Francisco. If he is, I got to buy him dinner. Cool. Thanks, Baptist 702. And Speaker for the Dead, $1.99. Stargate SG1 is awesome. Well, I hope so. I'm going to check it out. When it came out, I got to admit, because I didn't like the movie. I was like, I don't want to watch this. I don't. It came on after Battlestar. I was like, nah, but that was a long time ago. Times change. Things get worse. Maybe we were spoiled back then. Maybe. Cracklin for $1.99. How is the woke takeover not cultural appropriation? Well, it is. It is. Yeah, that's a great point. Vienna Wells for 50 pounds. Dick's novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? The term never appears in it. Blade Runner owes its name to the screenwriter H. Fincher. He took it from a book by William S. Burroughs. They got permission, but the term Blade Runners was used before. I remember hearing about that back then. Yeah. I can't remember. When I read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, I was 12. That was the last time I read it. There was a comic book adaptation of that, but I do believe they mentioned the term Blade Runner within the comic, but they changed it for the comic, I'm sure. So yeah. So it's William S. Burroughs who came up with it, not Fancher. Say Blade Runner owes its name to screenwriter H. Fancher, who took it from William S. Burroughs. They got permission, but the term Blade Runners was used before. Okay. It's also a skate too, right? Or something. Cool. Thanks, Vienna. Good information. Cucumber for Australian $5 and no comment. Well, good day, Cucumber. Nova Roma for $1.99. The greatest American hero is now an Indian woman. I thought they shit canned that. Are they actually going to do that now? I mean, SMH, man. SMH. So I thought, isn't it going to be that, because there's only one Indian actress or Pakistani actress in all of Hollywood, and they're just going to roll out the same one? I thought they shot down that series, Hero, but maybe they brought it back. Yeah, okay. Hannah Simone to lead ABC's Greatest American Hero reboot. Hannah Simone is ABC's new Greatest American Hero. The New Girl alum will star in the network's remake of the 1980s comedy series, which was ordered to pilot last month. When was this article written, though? Okay, that was written February 13th, 2018. Fox orders pilot for Greatest American Heroes reboot on November 3rd, 2015. It looks like the pilot didn't go so well. Oh, there it goes. On May 11, 2018, Greatest American Hero reboot not picked up by ABC. So there you go. There you got some good news. These things have to be good. And they probably saw it and realized that nobody would watch that because in the end, they still need to make money. They still need to make money sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. Blade Runner PC game was awesome back in the day. I never played it. I wish I would now. Is there any way to play that anymore? That would be kind of cool to check out. I remember hearing about it. There's two games I wish I would have played. That and the Fifth Element game that I think was on PlayStation, right? It's probably sucked, but sometimes I like shitty games. Do I like vinyl? Kronos, I love vinyl. I love everything about vinyl. There was a time I liked music as much as I like comics. I worked in record stores when I was a teenager. Growing up, I worked at the Warehouse, Sam Goody, Licorice Pizza, and I have a pretty big, decent vinyl collection. I end up buying stacks and stacks of it for cheap. And Mrs. Nerdrotic loves it too. So we've got one of those giant IKEA. I forgot what the name of the shelving units are, but they're huge, filled with vinyl, filled. And when I open up my pop-up, when I get the permanent location, it's going to be comic books and vinyl and used trades and video games and everything old, nothing new, zero new. I'll buy everything secondhand. I did that with trades for the last 2 years. I was running my shop and it worked great. Didn't buy a single new trade from Diamond for 2 years. Didn't need to. For the shelf. Now I special ordered for customers, but I did not put anything in stock from my shelf from Diamond. Cut it off completely. Ended up saving a bunch of money and always had trades I need because I lived near school. The shop was near a college, so people would bail after their 4 years and come back with their long boxes, and I'd buy them for like, $1 a piece. I know it's terrible. I'm a businessman. Right. Modelicious, new Coke. Another company is failing to deliver to its target market by pandering to people who do not want to buy their products. Hippies don't have money. Hippies don't have money. SJWs don't have money. NPCs don't have money. When you're living, I don't want to make fun of anybody's situation. I really don't. It's not ideal to live with roommates. Sometimes you have to, though. I get it. I dabbled in that for a little while when I was working in LA. So I still, was married, had my, kids and wife, but I worked in LA. So I rented a room that I slept in like twice a week. I ended up I had my stuff there. I would take a shower there, but I rarely stay overnight there. I would end up going home for the weekend, but I was working in LA and I had shared a house with 4 other dudes and it was interesting. One of them wrote, I'm going to try to get his name now, was like a staff writer. I started out as, I think, an assistant, but he ended up being a staff writer for The Big Bang Theory. And his first name was Gary. That's the only reason I remember his name. Let's see. Big Bang Theory. Let's see if I can get his name. He was cool. I never watched the show, though. I hated Big Bang Theory. It was everything, I think Big Bang Theory is largely responsible for bringing so many normies to nerddom. And listen, at first we thought this was great. I thought it was great. I thought it would lead to more comic book sales. I thought it would lead to a lot of things. I thought the Disney sale to Marvel, I didn't like it from the beginning, but I thought they would do well with Star Wars. I always thought they would do well with Star Wars. I was dead wrong on that one, but I kind of always thought they'd fuck up Marvel. People would go, whoa, fuck up Marvel. The MCU, we got the MCU at the cost of the comic book retail industry, practically, and the cost of Marvel Comics. They are dead. I would give up the MCU in a nanosecond to have comic books back. Screw the MCU. It's disposable. I know it's great. It was entertaining. And in 10 years, people will pick it apart. Again, we can play. Let's predict the Access Media article in 5 years that says the MCU is not as great as you remember it. Top 10 things wrong with the MCU. I mean, and well, they'll probably come out in the next couple of years and they'll be all, the MCU was too toxic, too male, too white. Yeah, that's going to come out. And it probably already came out. Did that article come out? Or did I just give somebody God damn it. I just gave IO9 an article idea. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, it's coming. Remember when Warner Brothers was on top of the world? Wasn't that long ago. Dark Knight was out. They had Harry Potter. They looked unstoppable. They were the biggest company in Hollywood. They were producing the best films. They were on top of the fucking world. And Batman and Harry Potter ended. And they tried to bring back Harry Potter. Can't do that. And they screwed up because they never understood the characters they have. And that one's a mind boggler to me. Because they've owned DC long enough to understand what they have. And God, at the shop, people call me a DC hater, and it's so untrue. I love DC. I'm just critical. I'm critical of things I like. I want them to be better. And I think just absolutely loving everything unquestionably is not how things get better at all. You can always do better. And DC did some really good things recently. I was very happy with them. I hate the direction the comic books are taking right now. I think it's terrible. And I largely blame, Jim Lee and Dan Didio. I know some people love those guys, and I'm sure they're really nice guys in person. But I don't know them in person. I just know, working at a comic shop and having to deal with the New 52, which I hated. Now the comic run 52, I liked. I thought that was good. There's certain things I love, like Wednesday Comics, that little newspaper thing they come out of. Oh God, I love the hell out of that. That was great. And Convergence liked, and Rebirth was freaking phenomenal. And they seem to be undoing that now. And that's why I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. What was I looking up again? That guy's name. That's why, it's been very interesting watching the progression of Comicsgate and watching it kind of evolve. And, things change and it's evolving and it's constantly shifting and doing their own thing now, and it being somewhat successful, very successful. We got to see, there's a lot of content out now, which is good. I read Micah Miller's book, and that was really good, man. Oh, I got to plug that. I'm going to plug that in a little bit. We also have Doug Ernst's books to plug. Okay, he was working on season. God, there was 12 seasons of fucking Big Bang Theory. Ugh. I'm looking for writers. There's probably like 100 of them. Oh, wow. There is a lot of writers. There he is. No, that's not him. Well, episode 1. I don't think he wrote on episode 1. Well, there's a Gary there. I'm wondering if that's him. Is there a picture? Nope. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go back to the chat. Nova Roma for $9.99. There would be no Star Wars without Space 1999. Space 1999 season 1 is better than STD, and good show tonight. Thank you. Dude, Space 1999 it's not comparable. I mean, it's fantastic. I love that show. As at Comic-Con, there is a comic dealer. I always forget his name, but he always brings the ship. It's about this big. It's freaking great. I've always loved that ship. Yeah, it's been very interesting to see everything play out in Comicsgate. Alan Moore popped off about it over the weekend, apparently. And then he was kind of racist to, well, not racist, a bigot, not racist. He was basically being the bigot that he is, making fun of people from the South, making fun of people from middle America, because it's perfectly okay to do that. It's perfectly okay to do that, which it's not, by the way. Now, I am of the place of, you can either make fun of everybody, or you got to share the wealth on that one. It's got to be okay to make fun of everybody. And I encourage that. That's what I would like. I think if we made fun of each other more and we're able to laugh at ourselves more, then we have this, maybe, pull the stick out of the ass of society. That'd be a good thing. But right now, you can't make fun of anything. You can't make a joke about anything. Comedy is dead, and it sucks. It really sucks, because I think you should be able to make fun of everything. Make fun of my, alcoholism. That'd be funny as hell. Laughing is a good thing. And if we could laugh at ourselves, that usually means, if you're self-deprecating, it usually means, well, it can mean uber narcissist, or it could mean like you're comfortable in your skin. So you're okay with somebody poking fun at you or pointing out your mistakes and having a good laugh about it, because that's being healthy. That's being healthy. We're not perfect. And yeah, progress, not perfection, as we say in the program. So. Still need your Plex screen name to invite you to my server. Use access the server through the Plex site. I don't have access to your info. It's in, if that's your concern. I'm just not gonna Seawalker 94. Thanks for the $5. When I get back from Vegas, or when I have time to actually sit down and do something, I will get that information. Thank you very much for the $5. I really appreciate that. I do. Because I need to watch Chernobyl. I do. Everybody says it's great. Big Bang Theory is the backlash of geek, as the blackface of geekdom. Yeah, William, it is. It really is. That's why I don't have any time for it at all. Blade Runner PC game was awesome back in the day. Real YT for $1.99. I read that one already, but I'll read it again. Cucumber for Australian $10. G'day, Gary. Would a Batman Beyond movie be cool? Fuck yeah. If written and directed by Chris Nolan, fuck yeah. And also thoughts on Spider-Man 2099. When Spider-Man 2099, the comic came out, I just bought it because I was a collector, and I read it and I thought it was okay. But then the video games came out and showed Spider-Man 2099 in a way I'd never really seen it before. And I think it would be great eventually. But what I would like first is a real Peter Parker Spider-Man story. And maybe we'll get that if Tom Holland stays on for a while and he grows up, his voice gets a little deeper, and but still, we're not going to get, all hope is gone of getting a Stan Lee, John Romita Sr., Steve Ditko version of Spider-Man. All hope is gone. It's done. It's over. Sam Raimi was the best we were going to get. I'm okay with that. I'm fine. But Hollywood doesn't feel comfortable casting freaking white male leads, much less male leads at this point. I'm not even going to say it's white male leads. I'm going to say it's male leads. And we got to either get past this, or they're just going to fall apart. I don't know. Disney could die under its own weight. I've talked about this a million times. I've done podcasts on this years ago that 100 people watched, and 50 of them were my relatives. But it was Star Wars versus Marvel, and I did like 3, and the whole podcast was about how Disney goes out and buys a bunch of stuff. They collapse under the weight of it, and then they have to sell some of it off or do something funky. It's not always going to be this way. I think there's people out there in YouTube land who just think the MCU is going to last forever. It's not. Sorry to report. It's not. It's been phenomenal. It's been historic. It's been great. It's been mostly great. Not all of it. Don't like Spider-Man Homecoming. Don't like the Wasp and Ant-Man. Don't like Captain Marvel. But that's not much. I like pretty much everything else. Don't like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 3 and up, what I've watched of it. Didn't like Iron Fist season 2 or 1 at that. Thought the Defenders was pretty lame, although Daredevil parts were good. I still think the best thing that Marvel produced was Daredevil season 1 over anything, over any MCU film. Daredevil season 1 was better, in my opinion. Followed closely by the Captain America trilogy was the best. But I mean, if you saw the cast for phase 4, go look at that compared to a cast for phase 1. And it's missing the gravitas. It's missing I don't know. It's missing the charisma. And it doesn't have to be all white dudes. There's not all white dudes in the Marvel universe, but there are some, and you want to portray the ones like they were in the comics. And if you want to bring in new characters, there's plenty of characters you can build from the ground up and develop and make into something. Iron Man was not the most popular character in the world, but he is now because of the films, and they treated it right. Well, if you just go ahead and change everything, if they actually think that female Thor is going to be more popular than Chris Hemsworth, well, I mean, if that's going to do anything to move the needle, I think we're in the period where the MCU can just do no wrong. And I think we're reaching the end of that. And that's when we're ending up with the MCU. Chris Nolan remains a positive in Hollywood because he's so damn uncompromising. So yes, love that guy. Love him. Love Matthew Vaughn. I think they're two of the best directors in Hollywood right now. Modalicious, support Happy on Netflix. Well, I can't really support Happy. I can't. I'm free not to support Happy now. It got canceled, and as much as I like the show, in my opinion, they screwed over my friend. So they can go get fucked. Rich Silverwood in 5 pounds. Did you ever see the classic 80s Two Ronnie sketches? The worm that turned, they foresaw all the gender swapping nonsense back then. No, I'm going to have to look that up, Rich. I'm going to have to look that up. Let me put this in my bookmarks real quick. At least I don't remember that. I mean, you said they're from the 80s. It could have been something I watched and then oh no, I have not seen this. Oh my God, look at those British teeth. I love it. Big glasses like me. There you go. I know. I got called hipster at Comic-Con. Listen, there's nothing effing ironic about anything I'm wearing. All right. I need big glasses because I'm blind, and the big beard I've had it for a long time. Shaved it off a couple times in the last few years, but I've had a beard since 2012. And then that was only a brief period. I remember growing a first beard in 2000, and I had one up until 2005 or 6, shaved for a couple years, and then grew back. Beard history there, 101. JP. Okay, JP Gatrokits. Iger sabotaged John Carter. He did by not calling it Of Mars. A simple Of Mars would have made the film do better. I don't know how good it would have done. I like John Carter. I thought it was good. As a matter of fact, the 2 movies that led to them really going for Star Wars, I liked. Tron Legacy. I mean, it had its flaws, but Tron Legacy has the best soundtrack since freaking Vangelis's Blade Runner. I mean, Daft Punk's soundtrack is legendary good. And I like John Carter. I thought it was a really well done 3D movie, and I like it. Plus, I love the source material. So there you go. Tyrone Beard for Australian $5. Should Jar Jar Lens Flare direct Brie Larson in bad reboot of The Hulk or Shaft? If she could play any tree or animal, then a man of color. Easy. LOL. Well, yes, she could. She could. I'm so sorry. ScarJo backed off her statement because I thought it was a good one. And let's not forget, Kate Blanchett said the same thing, essentially. And I don't know if she got shit for it or not, but nobody messes with Kate Blanchett. All right. Sorry. Lady Galadriel is off limits. Off limits. David Harris for $15. Thanks for the awesome content and the podcast. Well, you are welcome. Listen to them every day driving to work. Wow. That is still absolutely cool to hear. I'm glad I'm entertaining. So what do you guys think of weekly live streams? So if they're weekly, they'll be limited on time. Particularly the ones over on Nerdrotic Live. I think I'll do like 90 minutes to 2 hours. That's going to be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be here. And then, of course, there's also the Inquisition, and there's also the Exozone. So I'm practically doing it daily anyway. Why not make it a thing? I live stream a lot, folks. I like it. But I wanted to throw a little love to the Nerdrotic Live channel. So, yeah, well, you guys will let me know if you like it or not. And, hopefully they, the ones on Nerdrotic Live will be probably the same. I'll probably cover, I really want to cover the Expanse and the Orville like by themselves. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. I just want to talk about those two shows. And I want to really get in the weeds about speculating for the Expanse season 4. And I think in the last half, I'll do a spoiler discussion for people who've read the books or don't care about the spoilers. Because it looks like they're doing some massive changes. And that I've done a little look into it. And it's probably going to be good because I'll be honest with you, after book 5, the books get kind of iffy. Except for the last one. Last one's pretty good. Last one's pretty damn good. There's nothing iffy about the Orville right now. Oh God, you know what I forgot to ask him? I had him on the phone. Fuck. I'm such an idiot. Damn it. Now I feel like a total failure. Oh well. Hopefully I'll get to talk to him again someday. Why can't we have the Orville on Blu-ray? I want the Orville on Blu-ray. Make it effing happen. It sounds like toys and stuff are in the future. That's good. Like ships, toys. I want a 1/6 scale Bortus that actually smokes and has a mustache and comes with the thumb drive with porn on it. And I don't want to see the porn, but I want the thumb drive to have porn. And yeah, maybe some and then, yeah, I want to see that. Destiny. Oh, wait. Whoa. Daniel Thurs for $50. My man. Thank you very much. Just wanted to thank you for all you do. You're a national treasure. I'm what a lot of people here would consider way left, but common sense is all that matters. And everyone is dumb, me included, and should be made fun of. Exactly, Daniel. Exactly. Common sense at all that matters is freedom of expression, common sense, and then followed by empathy. Yes, actual empathy. See, you hear these a-holes like Alex Kurtzman talking about empathy. He tried to weave it into his storyline and have it related to Spock for some reason because he just learned the word. There's not a lot of people who truly know what empathy is in Hollywood. You wouldn't make it very far if you did. It's the way the culture is. It's the way the landscape is. And you know what? With Time's Up coming in, nothing has changed. It's just the names and the faces. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. But when it comes to true empathy, well, I would think that if you're going to use somebody's storyline for your series, that you would have the empathy to reach out to that person and go, I might have every right in the world to use this storyline. And maybe, we don't get along because of whatever happened in the past, but I wanted to reach out to you, get your blessing. Maybe we could talk about it. I'll give you a credit. Listen, the reason they don't do that is money. Is they don't want to give the guy any residuals or something. That's my guess. And Kurtzman doesn't want to give that guy credit at all. Maybe something bad happened. I don't know. But I think Brian Fuller would have produced a better Star Trek without a effing doubt. I liked his work on American Gods season 1. He's done good stuff on Hannibal. Like he has talent. You might not like his style of stuff, but he has a lot of talent. He could have delivered a good Star Trek. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty damn sure he would have. But they talk about empathy, but they're okay with, we're the toxic fans when we just simply point out, hey, didn't you steal that? In my opinion, or, why is your show so bad? We don't produce it. We just voice our opinions on it. If you don't like those things, that's fine. Apparently, I got to find it. Mrs. Nerdrotic found it last night. I don't look for this shit, but some guy's Twitter is dedicated to hating me over my Star Trek opinions. Great. I mean, if it makes you feel better, awesome. I mean, I don't care. But I didn't make your show suck. I just reported on it. Just gave my opinion on it. Thank you, Daniel Thurs. Captain Destiny, ahoy. $1.99. Listening in the shower. Toxic mailbag today soon. Toxic mailbag will be Friday because I didn't get by my PO box, but I have one of your letters. I gotta get it out. Maybe I've got that ready to go. Captain Destiny Captain will be read Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I have 5 or 6 handwritten letters. You guys handwrite them. They're getting read. Also, your stuff gets posted on Instagram. I have an Instagram at Nerdrotic. I have a Twitter at Nerdrotics. I have a Facebook group, the Nerdrotic Podcast Group. I have a Facebook page, Nerdrotic. Follow all the stuff. I have a BitChute, Nerdrotic. Subscribe Star. If you don't like Patreon, I have a Subscribe Star, and you get the same stuff. It's just you're not giving it to Patreon. That's all. Disabled Llama for Australian $5. The only people who don't like beards are the people who can't grow them. Beards are better. That's true. It's true. Although there's some people in Hollywood giving beards and big glasses a bad freaking name. I put up that picture of Michael Chabon, who honestly, prior to all this, I don't care where he lies politically, his name really hasn't been in this stuff that I know of going on in the culture war. But the fact that he's there during this, and this is the trailer they produced, and and listen, it might be easy to make fun of the guy. I wouldn't. When Brian Fuller was upset that they used this trailer, didn't give him any credit, like it wounded the guy. And well, think of how Anas Abdeen felt. Brian Fuller is a very talented man who's been very successful in Hollywood and will have success in the future. He's still young and he could do that. Anas Abdeen, that game was all he had. And CBS swooped in my opinion, and stole his life's work, essentially, his hobby, and then shat on him afterwards. Unforgivable. Never going to let him forget it. I don't care who wins the goddamn case. I'm convinced who was in the wrong on this one, and I will never, as long as I'm breathing, let them forget it. And they involved Star Trek in this. They shame the formerly great franchise, beloved franchise of Star Trek. They shame Patrick Stewart by involving him in this. He's an executive producer on this. Now, do I think he was involved? Do I think he knew Brian Fuller wrote it? I don't know. It's in question. I didn't bring it up in my video because I don't want to think about Patrick Stewart being involved in that. Now, again, they might be able to get away with it. Doesn't make it right. But and I don't like, I just, the Star Trek Picard show is going to be a freaking flame throwing war if it's bad. It's just not going to be fun. I want it to be good, but I don't think it will be. And it's Alex Kurtzman and CBS who has done this. They're the ones who sued the fan films almost out of existence. So they got the relationship off on the wrong foot. And who's behind it all? J.J. Abrams. Everywhere the guy goes, turmoil, reshoots. He creates drama. Maybe he just doesn't maybe he does it naturally. I don't know, and I don't care. Alex Kurtzman's the same way. But what they've done to Star Trek is unforgivable. I just want Star Trek to be better. And I think maybe steps are being taken right now to do that. And we can all rejoice if that happens. If we get good Star Trek, the fighting can be done and we can go back to fighting on, what do you like, the original series more, or the Next Generation? Is the animated series canon? There's some people who say yes because Gene said it was. And there's some people who say no. Or did Gene say yes or no? I can't remember now. I thought he said it was, and then Paramount said it wasn't. It is to me. It's in my head canon. It's canon. So, why is Daniel Craig in a dress for women? I don't know. Is he? I don't know. Maybe, maybe that's, maybe he's going to be the Bond girl in 007. Maybe he's going to be the Bond girl. Nova Roma. Did you ask about the Adrianne Palicki divorce from Scott Grimes? I thought they just got married. They didn't break up already, did they? I thought they just, divorce from who? No. Oh, no way. Damn. That did not last. Oh, no. This is not good for the show. Okay. I was rooting for this couple. I really was. But 2 months. Oh, that's like a 10-year relationship in Hollywood. So. Orville stars Adrianne Palicki. Palicki and Scott Grimes are getting divorced. God damn it. After only 2 months of marriage. Palicki, 36, filed for divorce from Grimes, 48. On Monday, TMZ reported after appearing together at San Diego Comic-Con, though they sat separately during their show's panel. The two started dating in 2017, but didn't take their relationship public until the following year. They tried not to intimate. They tied the knot at an intimate ceremony in Austin, Texas, in May 2019. Palicki and Scott Grimes are the two of the main leads of the show, playing Commander Kelly Grayson and Lieutenant Gordon Malloy. This will be Grimes' third divorce. Well, here's my speculation. Is Scott Grimes, I know a little bit about Scott Grimes. Is he, hang on. Would you consider him a comedian or just an actor? Or actor comedian? Actor and singer. Yeah. I'm guessing that he's an artist, and artists are comedian, actor, singer. Then that answers your question right there. They have the power to make women laugh, which is the most powerful aphrodisiac on the planet. If you have the ability to consistently make your partner laugh, it's very good for your relationship. It can't be the only factor, though. You can't be an asshole the other parts of the time. And this goes for men or women, by the way. And it's also the same with women. If you are dating a woman, she can make the dude laugh. Same result, by the way. Laughter is great. It's very good, but it cannot be the only thing. And sometimes when you are a creative, not sometimes, most of the time when you're creative, you're flaky. Okay, I'll use I statements. When I am in creative mode, I'm a human being, so I could be flaky, temperamental, egos get involved. That doesn't really happen ever with me and Mrs. Nerdrotic. We don't generally fight or argue very much at all. We had our time, but that was years ago. So we're good. I think it might have been a workplace thing that was really, but maybe she found something out. Maybe he did something stupid. Maybe she did something stupid, but she filed. So I'm thinking automatically that he might have done something stupid. It's not always the guy. I don't want to sound like one of those people who say it's not, but maybe it just was better off being like a fun work relationship and they should have never have tied the knot. Whatever. Hindsight's 2020. But again, 2 months in Hollywood is like 20 years of dog year. It's like dog year Hollywood relationship. No, it's like 5 years actually. But yeah, that's sad. I was shocked when I heard that. And I was like, he makes her laugh. But now, that is news to me. God, poor Seth. Well, Seth had to go through it himself, right? He was dating, a girl on the show. And then mad props for hiring your ex-girlfriend on the show. That's cool, but they can still be cool enough to where they can work. Hopefully Scott Grimes and Adrianne Palicki can get to that place too eventually. And, maybe that's why there's a little bit of a delay. I don't know. I hope not. I hope, the one thing is this happens a lot in Hollywood. So I think they can be professional. I would hope, but we'll see. We'll see. Unnecessary drama. It's got to make Seth's, it's got to give him a headache. It kind of does, I feel for you, Seth, but it's Hollywood. So he's probably like, this is probably old hat. It's probably nothing. Tom Hiddleston deserved Hall H genuinely chanting for him and a bow from Feige. So glad he stayed quiet amidst the wokeness. Off social media and humble, says Krista Joe for $4.99. Yes, Tom Hiddleston is cool. You know who deserved prime time at San Diego Comic-Con? A 2-hour panel with the who's who of Hollywood and mostly comic books is Stan Lee. Stan Lee died this year or last year, September. And this is the first con since he's passed away. And they should have given him Hall H for 2 hours, had a huge and they should have televised it. I mean, it should have been the biggest thing there with everybody there thanking Stan for everything he's done for the industry. Now, I had a little bit of debate in the live stream. Somebody said, well, Stan Lee's taking credit for Jack Kirby's worth. Enough of that. I've honestly been having that effing debate for decades, and I'm so over it. Listen, Jack Kirby got screwed. Jack Kirby let himself get screwed. We're all about personal responsibility here, are we not? We are. Jack Kirby could have done more to help himself. I'm sorry he didn't. I am, because the guy is as responsible as Stan Lee for creating the Marvel universe. Absolutely. So is Steve Ditko. So is Len Wein. So is John Romita Sr. And you know what? To a certain extent, John Byrne later on, Frank Miller. These are all names that, Jim Steranko, for the little time he worked in there, had major impact. People had impact. Stan Lee did the work. Yes, he took a lot of the credit, but he was out there every day. He put his face out there. He put himself out in front. Any of those artists could have done that at the same time, but Stan Lee had the personality for it. And that sucks that Jack Kirby wasn't born with it. He was born with an amazing talent of art. I freaking love Jack Kirby. I do. But Stan Lee had more impact because he was around longer and he put himself out there more. Was he an asshole by taking too much credit? Yes. And he's dead now, and it means jack squat. What matters is he helped usher in. He did what Jack couldn't do, what Steve Ditko wouldn't do, what John Romita Sr. couldn't do. He made himself a bit of a celebrity, but his celebrity had everything to do with Marvel's success. It gave Marvel a personality. DC, that's another thing they lacked. because they were bought out by this big corporation. They had no personality. They had no face to put on DC, no human face. There's a couple of people who got not even close to Stan, but that could have been that, but weren't. You know, I mean, who do you, when you see DC, when you think Marvel Comics, you still think Stan Lee. You know, when you hear DC Comics, I have no face I associate with that. Superman or Batman, the characters, which is great. But there's no human face I could put to it. There's, there's arguably some people, but they're nowhere near the level of Stan Lee. So Stan Lee, and that was the I don't know what the guy was trying to say. Like he didn't deserve the accolades, because he does. He deserved a 2-hour special at Comic-Con with everybody praising him, but they didn't do it. Which is disappointing. I'm surprised there hasn't been a TV special or something. Who else here, Richard? Who else here hears Richard Simmons calling Gary Delabonte out stern in their head when they hear the name Gary come up? Gary Beekler, love your stuff. Well, thank you, Michael. For Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Well, don't get me started on Howard Stern, because I used to love Howard Stern. But Howard Stern is the sellout of the worst kind. Elitist of the worst kind, and what nail in the coffin. And I used to listen to him all the time. He just did a PBS interview. Go look it up, where he essentially says he's sorry he ever did that. He basically says that he was fake that whole time. That wasn't really him. And remember when he would get into flaming wars, when other comedians, I remember Bobcat called him out one time, called him fake and everything. Bobcat was right. Bobcat got skewered for that for the longest time. And I know a lot of it was radio drama and stuff, but he was right. I remember Howard pubbing his movie for a year. And when the movie came out, it did okay, but he got pissed because it got beaten by Empire Strikes Back re-release. And he freaking started railing on Star Wars. And I couldn't listen to him after. I was like, I can't hear you talking bad about Star Wars. Well, how things change. But yeah, I used to love Howard. But I accidentally heard that interview on somebody shot it to me. I listened to the PBS interview. I'm like, God damn, wow. You can like get older and say, that's just really not me anymore, but I did it and I'm proud of it and stuff. And it's not what he said in that interview. Orville Nation for $5. I envy you, Gary. Oh, you don't need to do that. Wish I could watch Stargate 1 again for the first time. They do a great job as the seasons progress. Yeah. It'll be interesting. That's how I watched Farscape. I recently just got into Farscape. Freaking love it. I love Farscape. It's one of my top 10 favorite shows now, and I just started watching it like a year ago. Vienna Wells for 50 pounds. Empathy does not exist in the film industry. Agreed. I speak from experience. My mother has been an agent for decades. I grew up knowing actors. I worked some years in her office. Being an agent gives you a look into the dark and true soul of entertainment. I bet you it does. Thank you, Vienna. An agent knows all your secrets, all of them, knows where all the bodies are buried. Literally. Unhinged Craig for $2. She's dating Rob Lowe now. That's funny. As he winks. Joe Packer, $5. Gary, sorry I missed you at San Diego Comic-Con, but I was lucky enough to be at the Orville experience when entire cast showed up, including the Krill and Mocklins. Well, we were there. I was there, Joe. That's when I ran in and Seth just left. And then Tom handed me his phone and it said Seth on it. I'm like, oh, now? I was not prepared, but that was the best thing to do, to not be prepared for it. I don't know how well I did. I probably sound like a total idiot to him. Oh, well, stupid is as stupid does. Frank Drebin, hey, nothing to see here for $5. Jack Kirby wasn't as screwed as Bill Finger. No credit for a decade. Bill Finger got royally screwed by I believe it wasn't Bob Kane a lawyer, or had family and lawyer, something. litigation was involved, and he had a lot of power over Bill Finger and screwed him. Yes, Finger got fingered. Tyrone Beard for Australian $5, who says the Orville is as to Star Trek disco as growing a beard is to Gillette wokeness. Hoping Picard will be at least 25% better. Love your work, Gary. Thank you. I hope Picard is good as well. I will be honest. If I like it, I will tell you I like it. I don't, the concept of objectivity, people can really try. And I think a lot of people can get really close, but it doesn't truly exist because we just have bias. But I'll try. I mean, like, I'll try to just forget Alex Kurtzman's names there and see if I can enjoy it. Probably not. Akiva Goldsman is involved. This is still a secret hideout production. I don't think we're going to get a good show. But if I'm wrong, God, I'd be happy to tell you. I'd do a 10-minute video of I was wrong. This was good. Never been so happy to be wrong in my life. It is interesting, because seeing that trailer and you're like 7 of 9, but then it all makes sense after you hear the Robert Meyer Burnett. And of course, I hope you've seen my video. If not, check out my video. Check it out. All right, friends, I think we got to wrap it up. I think I hear Mrs. Nerdrotic on the other side of that door. And I'm going to be live again tomorrow for the Exozone. Exozone on Nerdrotic live at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I'm also going to do an extra live stream either in the morning or in the evening talking about the Orville and the Expanse exclusively. I want to show off some of my pictures from the Orville experience and give some love to the Expanse for showing me some love. And maybe we could talk about the Adrianne Palicki, Scott Grimes divorce. We can go all TMZ. We could speculate. No, I don't really care. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. And if I did, I will read it off tomorrow. But I'm just double checking right now. Thank you for all the super chats, by the way. They keep the lights on here. They keep the bills paid. And occasionally they fund a trip to Star Trek. So hopefully I can give back a little bit and give you guys some entertainment. It's also going to be a birthday trip for me. I'm going to be turning the big 50 in a bit, which is reality. Beard's getting a little grayer. Back's hurting a little more. Yeah. Farscape, what's up with Chiana, Gigi Edgley? What's up with her? I don't know. What's up with her? I like it. It's great makeup. I mean, just everything looks good in that show. Even the puppets. Modalicious. But I don't know specifically for $2 what's up. We can show a picture. Not everybody watches Farscape. I even bought the action figures. I got so into it. And some of the comics too. I missed it. Did she say something recently or anything? I mean, she is a I mean, let's face it, she's hot. I'm not going to hold back on that. She's effing hot. And hotter in the makeup. Okay, just that does it for me every time. I'm terrible. I'm a toxic male. I'm sorry. So toxic, so male. That's me. What's up with her? Not enough. You know what I'm saying, Modalicious? Not enough. Did she say something recently? Did something happen? I'm not sure. Larry for $2. Gary needs a $4.99 membership for channel. YouTube has not given me memberships yet, but I'm getting my silver play button. Got confirmation on that yesterday. So they are sending me my silver play button. So that's cool. Memberships will be nice. They haven't given them to world-class bullshitters yet either. And they're giving them out apparently just randomly. So I am more than qualified and hopefully I'll get it. And if I don't, I don't. That's life. Yeah, I'm getting my silver play button. That's pretty damn cool. Jeremy helped me get it. I guess I had to start chat and ask for it, and then they had to look over my channel again. They had to go to the internal department to make sure my channel is all up to snuff. So my channel's up to snuff, and so is Jeremy's at Geeks and Gamers. They have been thoroughly checked out by YouTube, and we still have our check marks, and we're getting silver play buttons. So I guess everything is okay over here, and it's not so. Or I guess we're not so bad. Maybe we need to work a little harder. I don't know. We'll find out. Gigi's Aussie, so even hotter. Yes, I agree with that. Yes, that factors in that accent. Thank you thank you, Gary. Much love from the upside down. Disabled Llama, Australian $2 right back at you. I love the Australians. So many of you show up here. That's effing cool. I get to talk to you. Oh, I'm a Claudia Black. I'm an equally a Claudia Black fan. Yeah, dominatrix girl. I just think she's I want a one size action model of Claudia Black. Says Kimp Rider 66. Yeah. I like Claudia Black too. It's a good show. All right, everybody. Hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Again, 1 p.m. tomorrow, the Exozone on Nerdrotic Live. Please subscribe. It's my alternate channel. The next live stream on this channel will be sometime tomorrow talking about the Orville and the Expanse. It will be no talk about freaking woke ass. Well, we'll talk about like how they're not woke and how like just being friendly to the fans helps. We will talk about that, but I really want to talk about two shows that are generally pretty fan friendly, and the very positive experience I had with the Orville and with the Expanse, and speculate about stuff, nerdy shit. So we're going to do that as well. Otherwise, I'll be putting out videos. I've got a video coming out tomorrow, but I'm going to let that Star Trek one hang there for a little while. I really hope CBS loves every second of it. I do. Blue Chick Butt says Modalicious for $2. Peter Ham, where's Doomcock? Doomcock's in the center of the earth. He's at the center of the earth. He's got his own channel. He did a live stream today. How woke is Expanse season 4 going to be? It got Benjamin. I don't know. I hope not at all. But if it is, I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you. Nerd Stealth. All right, Christy Miller, Tarka Jedi, the DJ D Show, Chris Persia. What's up, DJ D Show? Who else? I don't know. Mary Ashmead was on Doomcock's thing later. Thank you for your wrenches. I greatly appreciate it. And Bruce Lombardo, thanks for the coffee. R.I.P. to Rutger Hauer. Rest in peace, Rutger Hauer. That's so sad. Tarka Jedi, good day, my friend. And everybody have a great day. Go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. And not all who wander are lost.